Hello, my love, and welcome back to another episode of the Queen of Pep Talks podcast. Happy Monday. I hope that your day is off to the most fantastic start. And as always, if today feels a little bit heavy for you, I am just sending you so much love and a reminder that this too shall pass. I am so excited for today's episode on the Queen of Pep Talks podcast, where I am sharing another episode inside of the things I wish I would have known sooner. And today we are doing a business edition, and I am so excited. Let me just say, it was so hard for me to narrow down the things that I wanted to talk about inside of this episode, because there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of things that I wish I would have known sooner in my coaching business. I also want to say, of course, this episode is going to be so relevant for you if you're a coach in the online space. But even if you're not, I really want to encourage you to stick around, because I am certain that I'm going to give you a pep talk that will blow you away. Before we jump into the things that I want to share with you on today's episode, I want to remind you that tomorrow at midnight on December 13th, Tuesday, that is my birthday, I am going to be sending an email to the people who have registered for the exclusive email list. And inside of that email, you are going to get special pricing on a brand new offer that is dropping in January. This is not something that I have talked about on Instagram yet. I shared some of the details on last Friday, I think it was, episode, but I'll give you a couple more details now. In case this speaks to you, you're going to want to make sure that you register your email in the link of this show notes for the secret birthday offer, because when I send you that email, you'll be getting a lot more details, plus a link that if you use it within 48 hours, you are going to save 50% on the price that will be publicly shared on Instagram. That just makes me so excited. This offer is going to be a multiple day opportunity. I don't know what I'm calling it yet, a masterclass, a program, a mini course. I'm not sure. It really depends when I start to build it out, what this actually looks like. But inside, I'm going to be dissecting my year of 2022. We're going to be looking back at the entire year, and I'm going to be dissecting the highs, the lows, the wins, the failures, the celebrations, the struggles, and I'm going to extract all of the powerful lessons for you, and of course for me, because I want to make sure I am learning from the things that I went through this year so I can be a better version of me in 2023. This is going to be so powerful, so many takeaways in terms of your mindset, your consistency, your dedication, embracing failure. It's going to be so good, so juicy, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So if you want to save 50% on that opportunity, please make sure you register your email in the link in the show notes. It says secret birthday offer. Just register your email and I will send you all of the details at midnight Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, December 13th, which is my 36th birthday. I'm so excited to share that with you. Now, shall we jump into the things I wish I would have known sooner, business edition? There are a bunch today, so I will try and move through them as quickly as I can. I tried to narrow it down, and I kept trying to pull out the ones that I felt this isn't as important, but there are so many things that I could share with you on today's episode. I think that I narrowed it down to 7 or 8, maybe 9 things that I wish I would have known sooner, and these are in no particular order. I'm just going to go through them in the order in which I have them written down. The first thing that I wish I would have known sooner, and this is applicable if you have a coaching business, a business of any sort, or you are just a human who is navigating life. I wish that I would have known sooner that the wrong decision is better than indecision. So many people in their businesses don't want to make decisions because they're afraid that it's not the quote unquote right one. They're like, oh, well, I'm not 100% certain that this is going to work out the way that I want it to. Or I don't know if it's going to take me down the path that I want to go down. Or what if I screw this up? Or what if I fail? Or what if it doesn't work out the way that I want to? And we sit in the fear and the indecision. And guess what that does? It literally keeps us stuck. We don't move forward at all because we're not making any decisions. And I often tell myself when I find myself in this space, indecision is a decision. It's a decision and a choice to actually do nothing. And I don't want to be a woman who sits in indecision and keeps myself stuck in the same exact place as I am right now because I can't decide which path I want to take. I'm currently running the Total Package, which is my mastermind. And there's a lot of women inside of this space right now who I've been doing a lot of coaching with around overthinking. Because when we sit in indecision, we're often overthinking all of the choices and opportunities that we have in front of us. And the truth is, when you're sitting there and you're looking at all of the different choices, There's no way to really know which choice is the best choice to make, which choice is going to be the choice that leads them down the path that they really want to go down. We have to be brave enough and courageous enough and willing to say, I am open to potentially making the wrong decision so that I can learn something. The truth is there's so much power in the decisions that we make, and it really only takes one decision to completely transform our lives because it can lead us down a path that we could have never seen ourselves going down. I talked about this back in 2021 when I went to Canada to meet my coach. When I hired her and I purchased the first program that I did with her, I had no idea where that decision was going to lead me to building $1 million brand where I make multiple six figures a year, finding myself literally in Pembroke, Canada, visiting with someone who was a mentor to me in the online space. We have no idea where decisions can lead us. Even the decision that I've just made to step into doing the HPS public speaking in 2023, a big, huge decision. I have no idea if it's the right one or the wrong one. I have no idea where that decision is going to take me or lead me. Maybe it's going to have me one day like as big as Mel Robbins on stages speaking to people. Maybe I'll decide once I start that I actually don't want to do this and I prefer to do my coaching business online. We have no idea. Do you have a willingness to make a decision even if you cannot guarantee that it is going to be the best decision for you? Because there's one thing my husband taught me, you don't know until you know. You can't know if it was a good decision or not until you actually make it and you see the results. And the worst thing that can happen from a wrong decision or a bad decision is that you learn something. And isn't that valuable enough in and of itself? This is a mindset shift and a perspective shift to saying, I'm willing to make mistakes. I am willing to choose the wrong things. And I am willing to embrace the lessons that come along with that. I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you inside of the new offer that I'm sharing in January. I've made some poor decisions this year for myself and in my business. And I'm going to be willing to take a look back at that and say, this is what I can learn from this. We have to let go of our fear of trying new things. We have to let go of the fear of things having to go exactly as we hoped and anticipated in every decision that we make. Every one we make can't be the right one. If that was a reality for humans, we'd all be achieving every single thing that we wanted. We would never experience failure, so on and so forth. You will have learned and grown through making the wrong decision, but you really do have to get yourself to a point where you trust yourself enough to say, even if I make the wrong choice, it's still moving me forward. And this is a big part of, again, when I say I believe the foundation of our success comes down to the relationship that we have with ourselves, you're not going to trust yourself to make a decision if you don't have a good relationship with yourself. If there's no trust within yourself, how can you trust yourself to make a decision and be okay to hold yourself even if it's not the right one? Continue to work on building the relationship that you have with yourself, developing your self-trust, and then you're going to know, even if it's the wrong decision, I'm okay. I have my own back. I'm going to be able to hold myself through no matter what it is I go through in having made this decision. But I truly, truly believe the wrong decision is better than indecision. So if you're at a point right now in your business where you have a choice to make, there's a decision that's right in front of you that you have been overthinking and procrastinating on and feeling paralyzed by, I want you to do yourself a favor today and make a decision around that from a place of empowerment of like, I know no matter what choice I make, it's going to be one that benefits me, my life, and my business. Okay. The second thing that I wish I would have known sooner in my business, this one I had to include because it might be one of my favorites. And if you know me, I say that about everything because I'm like, it all matters. Like it literally all matters so much. The second thing that I wish I would have known sooner is that you are a leader, not a babysitter. If I could rewind time and go back to 2015 or 2016 when I was doing Beachbody coaching before I even started the JJXO brand, I wish I could have understood that I am a leader for my clients, not a babysitter. That doesn't mean that I won't handhold, and it doesn't mean that I won't hold you accountable, and it doesn't mean that I won't walk beside you on this journey to creating massive change and growth in your life and or business. But what it does mean is that I am not responsible for my clients' results. What a weight off of your shoulders when you can truly begin to believe and understand that you are not responsible for the results that your client gets. I promise you, it will feel like 100 pounds has been lifted off of your shoulders. Back when I was Beachbody coaching, I used to feel so bad about myself. It was one of the reasons that I was so inconsistent in that business, along with many other reasons. I hadn't done a lot of work on myself. But it was one of the reasons why I was so inconsistent, because I believed, I had myself convinced that my clients' results were my responsibility. And when people ghosted me or didn't show up or didn't put in the work or didn't get the results that they wanted, I felt like, what is wrong with me as a coach? And I would carry that. And I would say, well, I guess I'm just not good at this because my clients aren't getting results. And then when I started stepping into doing a lot more in my own business and working with a lot more women and seeing my clients getting massive, insane results, like my clients get the best results, I realized it never had anything to do with me. And it had everything to do with the woman who was stepping into a space to work with me and her willingness and her commitment and her readiness to actually show up and do the work for herself. I can be the best coach in the world to you. You can be the best coach in the world to your clients. That doesn't mean that they're ready to show up and do the work. It doesn't mean that they are committed to themselves. We have to let go of the idea that we are responsible for our clients' results. And with that, we have to let go of the idea, if you're carrying this, that your results are your coach's responsibility. I don't hold my coach responsible for any of the decisions that I make in my business. I don't hold my coach responsible for how I show up in my life, in my business. And because of that, I can easily and deeply believe my clients cannot hold me accountable for the results that they do or do not get. It's not me doing the work. It's my client doing the work, or it's their lack of doing the work. Just like with my coach, it's me doing the work or my lack of doing the work. It has nothing to do with her and it has everything to do with me. And when I believe that, I can believe that my clients' results have nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. We have to trust that the women or men, whoever you work with, the people who hire you, they're grown-ups. They're adults. They have to take radical responsibility for their own lives. And then we can take the weight and the pressure of being responsible for their transformation, their growth, their results. We can take that off of our shoulders. And when we can do that, we can step even more into being the leader that we want to be, because we know it's not our responsibility to hold their hand and make sure that they get results. We are here to lead, to teach, to guide, to be a support. We are not here to do the work for them, because that's quite literally impossible. I wish that I could rewind time and have known this a little bit sooner. It took me to about 2 years in my business to really understand this. And up until that point, I felt really bad when people didn't get the results that I hoped that they would. And I was so confused, because I was like, wait, but some of my clients are getting amazing, fantastic results, and some of them are just ghosting me and not even willing to do the work. And I started to realize, like, how can this actually be a me problem? It can't be a me problem if 80% of my clients are like nailing it and like knocking it out of the park and getting the best results. But then there's 10 or 20% over here that aren't showing up or aren't doing the work. That's not a me thing. That's a them thing. And you as a coach, you can only do so much if your client doesn't have a willingness to meet you halfway and not just listen to what you have to say, but actually take it and implement it in their life. Nothing is going to change for them. So I hope that if you're feeling some of this heaviness right now and taking the responsibility of the results that your client is or is not getting, you can really work on deepening this belief that you are a leader, not a babysitter, and your clients' results are not your responsibility. Okay. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner, and I'm really sharing this from my experience, but also more so because I think it's something that a lot of people really need to hear. You don't need support, aka a coach or a mentor, but having it is the best thing you can do for yourself. So if you know my story in business, you probably know that for the first year plus in my business, I actually did not have a coach. I never took a course. I never hired a coach. I never bought a program. I never even took a masterclass. I never downloaded a freebie from anybody. I was just like, saying, oh, I can do this. I can figure it out. Like, I got this. I trust myself. I had done a lot of work on my mindset. I was really good at being consistent and staying dedicated. The mindset piece was like pretty much mastered for me. Obviously, it's always a work in progress, but I was able to show up and scale my business to 10K months by myself without ever having taken a course or hiring a coach. And that's amazing. But I see a lot of people convincing themselves that they can figure it out by themselves. And while sure you can, I am evidence and proof of that. I will say that support is literally the best thing that you can do for yourself on your journey of building a successful coaching business or any business that you have. If there are coaches that you watch who have the business model that you want, or have the results that you want, or have the income that you desire, or are making the impact that you crave to make, or they're doing things that you want to do. They have a podcast, they're a public speaker, they're running masterminds, they have courses. If there's a coach that you're watching who is doing the things that you really want to do, I'm going to 10 out of 10 recommend, and I'm like laughing because if you know, you know, I recommend getting as close to them as possible. If you can only afford right now to get into their masterclasses, amazing, do it. If you can only afford right now to get into their group programs, amazing, do it. If you can only afford right now to be in a mastermind, amazing, do it. If you can hire them one-on-one and that's what you want, amazing, do it. Find a way to make it work, because support on this journey is literally invaluable. I cannot imagine not having a coach. I will never go back to not having a system of support where I am surrounded by people who understand what it's like to create what I am creating. And I'm not talking about having support from friends or family. You can have the best partner in the world, the best family in the world, and they want to see you win and they're cheering you on and they're like, yeah, you got it, you can do it. That's amazing. But until they can give you the guidance and support because they have walked in the shoes of doing what it is that you're doing, their support can only take you so far. Can you imagine if you have never worked with a coach, especially in close proximity, like a mastermind or private coaching, can you imagine experiencing something in your business? Maybe it's the first time a client defaults, or maybe people are spreading rumors about you online, or maybe somebody is copying your content, or maybe you had a failed launch and no one signed up. Can you imagine while you're going through and navigating those things, having someone in your corner who has already navigated them and knows how to get through it, who can talk you through handling it, not just mentally and emotionally, but also strategically? How do you deal with some of that stuff? Can you imagine having that level of support? I can. I also know what it was like to not have it while I was doing it by myself. And let me just say, I saw this one time on Instagram, like coaches are literally cheat codes. Like they will literally cut the time in half for you on how long it takes you to figure things out, process through things, make moves, build, grow, scale, whatever you're wanting to achieve in your business. Please, if you can, find a coach who you resonate with, who you love, who you adore, who you're like, I would love to do life with you, and get as close to her as you possibly can, because she can teach you so much that you don't already know. But not only that, not only can she teach you, she can hold you when it feels like shit hits the fan. She can remind you that everything is going to be okay because she's been through what you're navigating through 100 times over. She doesn't have any fear in the world for you because she knows she's been through it too and it's going to be okay. Do you know what that feels like to be validated in that way? It's literally priceless. And I hope that you will give yourself the opportunity to be supported in that way in your business or whatever it is you're working towards achieving, because it's just the best feeling in the world. And I believe coaching, support, mentorship, it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself on your journey to building a successful coaching business. Okay. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner, and this is probably one of my favorites as well, this was a lesson that I learned last year, and it was really important for me to learn that, and I'm still continuing to refine this for myself. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner is that you have to create your own definition and version of success in your business. It is so easy in the online space to see what other people are doing, other coaches are doing, other mentors are doing, your colleagues, your peers, your friends who are also coaches. We see what they're doing, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in, oh, well, that's what success looks like for her, so that must be what success looks like for me. And this is something that I went through in my business when I saw my coach started hitting 6-figure cash months and other women in the coaching industry started hitting 6-figure cash months. I was like, oh my gosh, I think that's what I have to be doing in order to define myself as successful. And I got into this headspace where it was like, I'm not successful until I reach that point. And that was literal bullshit. Like, how in the world can I say that $50,000 a month is not successful? How in the world can I say that making the big, massive impact and coaching thousands of women, that's not successful? How can I say that building a brand, hundreds of thousands of people know me, that's not successful? Or having a podcast where people plug in and listen and thousands of downloads every week, that's not successful? but I had convinced myself that I wasn't successful because of what I saw other people doing. And I started to have my vision blurred, and it became cloudy of like, what does success actually look like for me? What does it mean for me? And I had to take a step back and realize, just because that's her version of success, that doesn't mean that that's supposed to be my version of success. I have to get clear on what success looks like for me. Success for me is being able to wake up every single day and do the work that I love. That is my definition of success now. To be able to do work that I feel so fulfilled by, make an impact on whether it's 1 or 1,000 women in this world, to get to share the message that means so much to my heart, to share my story and experience, that's success for me. And it's easy, I think, to take a step back and do this with maybe other people who you know in your life outside of the coaching industry. I look at my best friend as an example. She is a stay-at-home mom now. She quit her job and she is raising her twin boys, and she is literally living her dream life. Just because she has that, does that mean that that's what I have to want, or that's what success looks like? No, absolutely not. We look at people all the time around us who are living lives that we don't necessarily want. But in the coaching industry, because we're able to see so much success and people growing and building and scaling so quickly, we can start to convince ourselves that what we have is not yet success. And we can start to become confused a little bit on what success actually looks like to us and what it is that we really want for ourselves. So if you're in this place right now where you feel knee deep in comparison and you're looking at other people and you feel lost in what it is that you even want in your business, what you want success to look like, I encourage you to take 5 or 10 steps back and ask yourself, why did I start this? What was it that I wanted? When I started my coaching business, it was never about making a lot of money. I had no idea. I've shared this story a million times. When I told my husband that someone told me it was possible to make $25,000 a month, my husband was like, they're lying. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. Like, there's no way people make that amount of money. And then I started doing it. I never got into this for that level of money or income. I started as a coach because I wanted to make an impact in this world. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be able to talk about and teach the things that have literally changed my life. And I get to wake up and do that literally every single day now in some capacity, whether it's on the podcast or in Voxer with my clients or in group coaching programs that I'm running or on Instagram stories or on an Instagram live or inside of a masterclass. I get to do that however I feel like doing it every single day. I have access to success in every single moment because I have redefined what success looks like for me. I hope that it's not wrong to want money and you're allowed to make a lot of money, but I also hope that you will detach your level of success to something that is outside of you and attach it to something that you are in control of so that you can feel successful every single day in your business. I did this a long time ago in my mindset around my relationship with my body and my relationship with food and my weight. I told myself that I am successful in my pursuit of healing my relationship with food and my body if at the end of the day, I am proud that I lived in integrity with my word. Did I do the things that I said I was going to do? If that answer is yes, then I am successful. And I had to redefine success in my coaching business. If I get to wake up every single day and do what I love, that is success for me. So please redefine what success looks like for you in your life, in your business, in anything that you're working towards. Redefine what success looks like and means to you. And I promise you're going to live a much happier life and your business is going to be even more successful because you're already walking tall and holding your head high as a woman who is successful as fuck. And it has nothing to do with the things outside of her. Okay. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner is that you, exactly as you are exactly who your perfect client needs. I think we all, if you're a content creator, maybe you're an influencer, maybe you're a coach, it's so easy to get wrapped up in this idea that who we are and what we have to say isn't as valuable as the next person. And we look at other people who we admire. I'm guilty of doing this with my coach. I look at her and I admire her and I'm like, oh, well, the way that she is the way that I should be because she's successful and I want to be as successful as her. But when we try and mimic or copy the way that other people show up, the way that other people run their businesses, the way that other people speak, the way that other people create content, when we try and mimic other people, we are literally losing our magic. We are giving away the thing that actually makes us powerful and unique. You exactly as you are, the way that you look, the way that you show up, the way that you speak, the way that you write, the way that you do anything and everything, the way that you coach, the way that you build programs, the way that you do everything in your life is exactly who your ideal client needs you to be, because you are who they are going to resonate with. You know how you listen to somebody speak or you watch somebody and you just feel like magnetized by their energy, the way that they talk, the way that they use their words, the tone of their voice, the way they move when they speak, the way they use their hands, whatever it is that they do, you're just like, oh, you can't stop watching. You know that feeling? That is exactly who you are going to be for the people who need you to be their coach and mentor to help them change their lives. Please do not give away the thing that is actually setting you apart. How many coaches out there are coaching on the same exact thing? How many business coaches are out there? How many mindset coaches are out there? How many relationship coaches are out there? How many money coaches are out there? Millions and millions and millions. That doesn't mean that the market is saturated, because nobody can be who you are. You are literally your gift. You are what sets you apart. Your story, the way you speak, the way you show up, the way you look, the way you talk, all of that is the magic in your business. And so often we want to give that away because we think that we need to be like someone else in order to be successful. I made a commitment to myself a long time ago that I will be as authentic to me as I can in everything that I do in my business, so that I never have to pretend. Can you imagine creating content? I think I was talking to, I'm not sure, one of the interviews that I did with somebody recently. I can't remember who right now. Can you imagine pretending to be someone other than who you are in your content, on your Instagram stories, on your podcast? You show up and you're talking differently than you normally talk. You're saying things that you don't normally say. And then someone sends you $10,000 for private coaching and you get on the phone with them and you feel safe enough. Now it's like, oh, they hired me. I get to be myself. And then you show up as who you really are and you speak the way you want to speak and you say the things you want to say. And they're like, oh my God, I don't even like you. I don't even know who you are. That would be like one of the reasons that I curse in my podcast and in my content, is because I may be on the phone with you as a client and say a cuss word. And if you're offended by that, I apologize. And if you let me know, like, I really don't like when you do that, I will try and not do it. But at the same time, I believe that my clients know when they hire me, like, oh, Jessica says the F word sometimes. Like, it's just one of the ways that I express myself, and I don't see it as something that's bad or wrong. So I believe and trust that the women who hire me know exactly who they're hiring. I remember when I started doing my first in-person things, when I did my first in-person event with Athleta, I remember being super nervous because I was like, I really hope that people see me the way that they see me online. I hope that in person they see me the same way that they see me online. And that was one of the questions that I asked the women there. I was like, so how do you feel being here with me? And they were like, you're literally exactly how you come across online in our coaching and your podcast. You're exactly the same. And I'm like, wow, what a blessing. How amazing is that? I am literally exactly who they thought I was because I show up authentically. You have to trust that you exactly as you are is exactly who the woman who is meant to work with you needs. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more faking, no more copying, no more mimicking, no more holding yourself back, no more not saying what you want to say. Be as you can be. And I promise you, this will be the magic sauce in your business. Okay. We have a couple more things here. I knew this was going to be a long one. Sorry, guys. Okay. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner is that a willingness to fail will actually be what helps you succeed. And again, I think this goes back to the first thing that I shared, in that the wrong decision is better than sitting in indecision. Something that holds so many people back is fear of failure. And I get it. We don't want to fail. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to feel dumb. We don't want people to judge us. We don't want to doubt ourselves. We don't want to feel bad about ourselves. But at the end of the day, the people who are creating massive success in their lives and their businesses, they are the people who have the biggest and most willingness to fail, because you can't get it right every single time. Like, life does not give you 100 for 100. Like, it's not going to be perfect. You are going to make mistakes and you are going to fail and you are going to screw up, all of that. It's just a part of it. I have offered things that no one has bought. I've created programs that have flopped. I've tried things that didn't work. I've done things that I wish I could go back and do differently. But the thing is, I learned from every single one of them. And I'm willing to look at my failures and say, okay, how can I learn from this? And this is one of the things that I'm going to be talking about in the new offer in January. So I really recommend, if you're a woman who struggles with looking back at owning and acknowledging your failures so that you can learn from them, this is something that you're really going to want to be a part of, because it's so important that we have this willingness. We can't hide from our failures. We have to take radical responsibility for all of it. If we want to take radical responsibility for our success, and it's like, yes, I did that, amazing. We have to, at the same time, have a willingness to take radical responsibility for some of our screw ups, for some of the things that we wish we would have done differently, for some of the things that maybe didn't work. And this is not about saying I am a failure. And this is a big piece of it. It's not about me being the failure. I, Jessica Battle, am not the failure. I experienced a failure. I went through something that didn't work the way that I wanted it to, and that gets to be okay. I would rather try my hardest to fulfill my dreams and have it all crumble in front of me and not work out than be at the end of my life wishing that I would have tried, wishing that I would have taken the risk, wishing that I would have put forth the effort to make it happen. You will regret not taking steps towards what you want far more than the pain of experiencing failure. That sadness and pain that you will feel at the end of your life, having not gone after what you wanted, that will haunt you 10 times more than any failure in your life ever will. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm willing to experience it because I know that it's going to teach me something. Okay. The next thing that I wish I would have known sooner, we have 2 more things here, guys. You need to be grateful as fuck for what you have while working for more. This is something that I never anticipated going through. Again, I didn't start my coaching business feeling like I needed 1 million clients or feeling like I needed to make all of the money in the world. I started from a pure, genuine desire to make an impact in this world and help women change their lives. However, as I mentioned, I went through a season in my business where that started to feel muddled and cloudy, and my vision, I wasn't seeing things the way that I should have been seeing them. And I found myself sitting in feelings of lack and not having enough, even when I had more than everything that I wanted or needed. I think it's so easy, especially if you're in the beginning of your coaching business, or maybe you're a couple of years in and you're not at a point where you feel your income should be, or you're not making the impact that you want, and you're minimizing what's now because it feels like it's not good enough. It's like, oh, I have 2 clients in my program, but that's not enough. I need 10. Or, oh, I made $1,000 this month, but that's not enough because I'm not successful until I get to 10K months. If you can find yourself sitting in lack where you are now and feeling like nothing is good enough now, I can promise you that when you get to your next level, the 10K months, the 20K months, the 50K months, you're still going to feel like it's not good enough because that's how you've trained yourself to see things. If you are able to wake up every day and do what you love, you have your bills paid, whether that's because you're working a full-time job or your business is providing for you, or maybe you have a partner who is providing for you. You're able to put food on the table, you have a roof over your head, and people who you love in your life, you have so much to be grateful for. But a lot of people tend to find themselves feeling like, oh, well, if I'm just so grateful for what I have now, then I'm somehow settling and I can't want to go after more. That's complete bullshit. You get to do both. You get to be so grateful for everything that you have right now while still working towards and creating more for yourself. But there has to be a deep, deep, immense level of gratitude for what's here now, because it is enough and it will always be enough. And that's why you have to redefine your vision and your version of success, because you probably now are at a point in your business where you once prayed to be, even if you're only in month 1 of your business. You started. How long did you dream about this before you actually started? Can't you be grateful that you started instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm only in month 1 and I really want 10K months and I'm so far behind and I'm never going to be successful. You started. This is something that you wanted months ago. Can't you be proud of that? Can't you find the gratitude in that? I really encourage you to work on this always, because it's so easy to fall into that trap of chasing more and never feeling like what you have is enough. Okay. And the last thing that I wish I would have known sooner is that patience is a non-negotiable. At literally every point in your journey in business, patience is something that we have to work on mastering, because nothing happens overnight and success is not always linear. Your growth is not always just up, 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 up. Sometimes you go up and then you go down. Sometimes you go up and then you go down and then you go down again and then you go up. It is not going to be a linear process to creating the results in the dream business that you want for yourself. If you're in it for the long run, if you're in this forever, you can't expect things to happen overnight and things to always go perfectly and things to happen as quickly as you always want them to. When you are trying new things in business, or you're creating new pillars in your business, or you're putting yourself out there in new ways, or maybe you're starting on new platforms, you will probably start at zero. And that's okay. We all started at zero, but we have to embrace patience along the way, because there's nothing that will get you to quit more quickly than the frustration of things not happening as fast as you want them to, if you're tied to only getting the result and not loving the journey along the way. Fall in love with how you're showing up in your business, and it will allow you to be so much more patient. Do you love your business right now? Do you love the content you're creating? Do you love the things you're talking about? Do you love the clients you're working with? Do you love the offers that you're creating and the programs that you're running? Do you love it? If you love it, that's amazing. Then what's the rush? If you don't love it, then that's probably why you're rushing, because you're waiting to get to a finish line where you think, oh my gosh, I made it. In business, you don't make it. In business, you just keep showing up. Even when you think you made it, you have to keep working. You have to keep showing up because you have to keep building. It's all building always. The work doesn't stop when you get to 10K months. There's probably going to be more work to do. The work doesn't stop when you get to 20, 30, 50, 100K months. There's more work to do, more clients to support, more back-end things. Maybe you have a team then that you're holding and supporting and paying salaries to. Learn to embrace and love the journey and practice mastering the skill of patience, because there's no finish line to get to. You don't work hard and then quit. You work hard and then you keep working hard and then you keep working hard until one day you maybe get to retire, and then you'll say, oh my gosh, I'm so fucking bored and I want to go back to work. Learn to master patience, and you're going to feel so much better along the way in everything that you do. If you want 100 people in your offers, amazing. Can you be patient while there's 1, then there's 10, then there's 15, then there's 20? You want all the people to buy your new program, but when someone doesn't buy in the first 5 minutes, you're like, oh my gosh, no one is buying, so I'm just going to quit talking about this. Every single launch that you go through, you have to practice patience, because people may not always buy within 5 minutes. Who are you going to be when it feels frustrating? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting the result that I want. Are you going to practice patience and remember that you love the journey so fucking much that you're going to show up and do it no matter what? I sure hope so. I absolutely loved sharing these things with you guys. I hope that this was beneficial for you if you are a coach, and even if you're not a coach. I know that there were some powerful things that were said inside of this episode that I'm sure resonated with you. I would love to ask, if you have not already, and if you have, I see you and I love you, please leave a rating and review on the Queen of Pep Talks podcast. It is truly so beneficial. I've shared with you a million times now why it means the absolute world to me. It's an opportunity for the Queen of Pep Talks podcast to be found by people who are not already connected with me. And again, if you have left a rating and review, I just love you. I adore you. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for supporting me the way that you do and letting me know that the content that I create on a daily basis for you is so incredibly impactful. A reminder to register for the secret birthday offer if you want to make sure that you get access to the 50% off link. I love you guys so very much, and I will talk to you on the next episode of the Queen of Pep Talks